Welcome to The Coffee Grind with the Denton Chamber of Commerce, powered in part by the Denton Black Film Festival and Classic of Denton.
Good morning, Denton. You are watching the Chamber Coffee Grind. We are recording here live at the DentonRadio.com studio in the Discover Denton Welcome Center in downtown Denton. My name is Travis Veselka. I'm the Director of Membership and Marketing for the Denton Chamber of Commerce, and with me is my co-host.
Good morning. My name is Randy Skinner, and I serve as your Chamber Marketing and Membership Committee Chair. And as a member, I represent Denton County Friends of the Family at the Chamber. So we have a full house today. Like, let's just state the obvious. It is a great morning. Nonprofits are representing on the Chamber Coffee Grind.
Yeah, so just in a moment, we're going to ask everybody to introduce themselves. But today, the theme of the show is mentoring. It's National Mentor Month, or Mentoring Month. And we have several folks here who have mentoring programs and are related to Mentor Denton, which is a really fantastic program that got started just a few short years ago. So just from left to right, if that's all right, we'll start with you. If you just introduce yourself, the organization that you represent.
Sure. I'm Amber Shattuck, and I am the Director of Volunteers with Communities in Schools of North Texas.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, I'm Dominique Austin, and I'm the AmeriCorps Vista for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Denton County.
Awesome.
All right. Shout out to AmeriCorps Vista.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Joy Curvin, and I serve on the board for Big Brothers and Big Sisters.
Awesome.
I'm Courtney Martin. I'm the Community Engagement Specialist for Denton ISD.
Awesome. And so each one of these organizations has some role to play in mentoring or the Mentor Denton program. And so we'll get to explore some of that.
Well, Ann, I'm just going to make a comment. So let's do a quick roll call, Denton. If you are currently a mentor or have served as a mentor in the past, throw a little comment in there with hashtag Mentor Denton, and let's just kind of see whose head count we can get. We probably will get it more when they rewatch it, because none of y'all watch us live, which I'm just putting out a personal complaint that you don't watch us live. So
we're not mad about it.
Well, I'm a little mad about it. Like, you cannot be mad about it, but Jason Bodor will probably be watching us, and then maybe my husband. So our husbands watch us, but that's about it.
When in fact, Jason's actually on an airplane right now.
Dang it! So we don't have Jason that's going to be watching
Half
us.
your audience.
Yeah.
All right, so hashtag Mentor Denton.
So the purpose of our show is to keep you up to date with what's happening in the business community, and we're going to highlight featured initiatives and events from the Denton Chamber of Commerce. But today we are talking about mentoring and specifically Mentor Denton. But each one of these organizations that's joining us today. So how do you want to go about doing this?
Well, why don't we just say, explain a little bit about Mentor Denton and how it started, and then we'll kind of talk a little bit about the separate organizations and get y'all's insights on ways that people can connect.
Yeah.
Does that work for you, my friend?
It does. It totally
All right,
works
I
for
hope
me.
that works for y'all too. All right, so Courtney, you want to explain Mentor Denton?
Sure. So about 4 or 5 years ago, different entities in the city of Denton came together. We had the City of Denton, United Way of Denton County, and Denton ISD, and they all came together and said, you know, we've got 10,000 students that were at risk in Denton for fear of dropping out, and so we kind of needed to push mentoring in Denton. And so each of those 3 entities came together. They formed Mentor Denton. From there, then we've started adding all these other partnerships. We have Communities in Schools. We have Big Brothers Big Sisters. Each of us coordinate mentoring programs. And so then we all kind of report back up to Mentor Denton. And that answer your question?
Yeah, so it's essentially like a collaborative partnership between all the
is.
various mentor agencies, I guess, in Denton. Is that kind of?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Definitely.
Okay, so I know, like, United Way does the kickoff for Mentor Denton every year,
Correct.
right? When does that happen? Do y'all know? Have they set a date yet for this year?
Well, it already happened for the school year.
Okay,
It usually happens in August. Yeah.
So
we
it
are
happened-
looking at putting together a lunch and learn in February. I don't know that the
Sweet.
date's been
Okay.
set yet.
Yeah. Keep
but
us
So
posted.
we usually
will. Yeah.
kick off for the school year just because we all work with students, and so
Yeah.
everybody's busy, and
Yeah.
our mentors are busy in the summer, so we focus more on the
Yeah.
school year.
So I know that all the different agencies that are a part of Mentor Denton, they kind of served in different ways. So let's talk briefly just about the differences. I know, like, Big Brothers Big Sisters, tell us a little bit about how you guys work and what makes it different than kind of some of the other mentoring.
Okay. Communities and schools and Big Brothers Big Sisters are extremely similar as far as like what our mission is, just to help children that are facing adversity and help them with like a one-to-one relationship. But we offer community-based mentoring, so they're able to meet with the students outside of a school setting. That could be after school, on the weekends. That would probably be the biggest difference between us and communities and schools. We also offer a Mentor 2.0 program, so that means the high school students are going into the elementary school and they're able to mentor them as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
really cool.
It's the same mission, just a different style of going about it.
So tell us a little bit about CIS.
So
and y'all's mission.
she's absolutely right with our mentoring programs. The main difference is that one is community-based and one is school-based. The reason communities and schools is specifically school-based. Mentoring is actually one of about 1 million different services that our site coordinators provide. We're a dropout prevention program, and so we're national. I represent the affiliate of North Texas, so we're here in Denton ISD, but we're also in 5 other ISDs locally, and we work with about 4,000 kids that are at risk of dropping out. Some of those kids are connected with a volunteer, some are not. It just kind of depends. My job as volunteer director is to get as many of them connected with a mentor as possible. And so we have a few different initiatives in the way that works, but typically it looks like an hour a week. You're matched with a student. We pull from either lunches or elective courses or that kind of thing. And that kid is being case managed by a site coordinator. So they're getting a lot of other needs met in addition to, being matched with a mentor and that sort of thing. So that's kind of a difference as well. And then we also have a monthly option for mentoring too.
And Joy, you serve as a mentor, correct?
No, I serve on the board as a board member.
Okay.
So I actually, to add on to what Dominique was saying about one of the differences about Big Brothers and Big Sisters, we also have what they call a big couple, and we have big family too.
Really
So
cool.
I think that's a great option. It kind of sets us apart from the other organizations.
Yeah.
I think it really highlights that obviously we know there's a need. Like Courtney said, there's over 10,000 students that are at risk just right here in our community.
Absolutely.
And so we look at CIS, communities and schools, and we look at Big Brothers Big Sisters, and there's so many different ways that you can mentor. So whether it's that you have to do something after hours, right? Like after the school day, you have Big Brothers Big Sisters. Or I know CIS, like during that, during that time frame of that school, not 9 to 3. I don't even know what time. I don't have kids. I take my nephew to school every day, so I'm kind of like he has to be there by like 8:15. But it's a different time than the other school.
Yeah.
But there's also, y'all have a really cool program, Lunch with a Leader.
Correct.
Which is designed for folks that maybe have a little bit of a busier schedule and can't do that every week or need something that's only an hour. And so tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah. So the Lunch with a Leader mentoring group, it's group-based mentoring essentially. And it's our site coordinators run groups with their kids anyway. And that can range from like grief and support groups and support groups for homeless kids to just general like character building and stuff like that. Lunch with a Leader is one of my favorites because it involves a mentoring component to it that some of our other groups that our site coordinators run don't have with them. Essentially, it's a weekly group that the site coordinator runs. We have it at the elementary and the middle school levels right now. And the focus is on development of leadership skills. It targets our kids who are either really good natural leaders and are not leading in a positive direction. I always say using their powers for evil instead of for good. Or it targets those kids who have the ability, but they're just too introverted and they need to be brought out of their shell a little bit. Every campus is a little different. But then they are paired with a mentor that comes in once a month. So they have a lunch group every single week. And then once a month, like say the second Tuesday or the third Wednesday or whatever of the month, all of the mentors come in. They're still matched one-to-one, so it's still that statistical one-to-one model that's completely essential. We all have our stats to back up that that's a really important thing. But it's in a kind of a group-based atmosphere. So the cool thing about that is, one, it's less of a commitment, so busy professionals can kind of connect a little bit more. And those are honestly the people that we want anyway, because they're modeling leadership kind of in their community to those kids. So it's a little less of a commitment for them, but it's also a really good way to get your feet wet with mentoring. Mentoring can be a little bit stressful in the beginning, to sit across from a kid and not really know what's next and what you're supposed to do and that kind of thing. And we all work really hard to kind of get them through those first steps, but it can be difficult. And so what we've really seen from Lunch with the Leader that's been amazing is that a lot of those folks end up following their kid into individual mentoring when they switch up to like middle school or to high school or whatever. It's really great.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's a great way to get your feet wet if you're little stressed about jumping in.
So you mentioned some statistics and things like that.
Yeah.
So what are some statistics that we have that you guys would share?
So from my end, I don't have exact numbers, but I mean, our statistics at CIS, we're about 99% effective every year at keeping our kids in school and on track for graduation. We target kids specifically that are identified as at risk by Texas Education Agency. So we're not targeting kids that are like already doing great or anything like that. We're targeting kids that are, you know, struggling. As far as mentoring statistics, goodness, y'all help me out. I mean,
we're putting y'all on the spot.
I mean, they're more effective at even wanting to do well in school, just having that motivation. Truancy goes down, risky behavior goes down. Basically everything our site coordinators are trying to accomplish anyway. Matching a kid with a mentor increases the likelihood that
and
it'll work.
Specifically for Big Brothers Big Sisters, we have a grant for kids that have parents that are incarcerated. So there's numbers, I'm not for sure right now what they are, but basically just speaking on like the rate that kids, if your parents are incarcerated, that they're going to get incarcerated. So mentoring, mentoring coming in, they improve scholastically, they're improving their attendance at school, you know, they're more likely not to go to jail. So I mean, the statistics are there. If you guys want to go to our website, all the information is there. We break down all the numbers specifically, and they're constantly updating it too. So.
We have a lot of mentors that focus on reading specifically. They focus on academics or social, some of those skills, but we have some that are focusing on reading specifically. We know that if our students are not on target by 3rd grade, then their chances are they're going to be behind until they graduate.
Wow.
So we have preschool reading programs. We've started with 2nd graders working one-on-one and reading fluency and more of that switching. They're learning how to read, and then now they're reading to learn. And so we're focusing on that to get their reading levels up.
I actually have a literacy stat because I just did a presentation. I think if they're not on target by 3rd grade, I'm so afraid I'm going to mess this up. No one put this in like a grad school paper or anything. But,
Don't write this down.
I think it's like if they're not on track for reading by 3rd grade, they're like 35% more likely to drop out.
Wow.
I think.
By 3rd grade.
It's high.
That's
it's really high.
Wow.
We do a lot of reading intervention stuff too.
Well, and y'all actually have a reading event coming up.
We do.
Tell us a little bit about that. It's one of my personal favorites, actually.
It is a lot of fun.
We do. So for Read Across America, which celebrates Dr. Seuss's birthday on March 2nd, we
shout out to Dr. Seuss.
Yes,
Right?
you can grab your red and white hat and your costumes, and you can come read to all of our students. We've got about 12 or so elementary schools that are participating.
That's
anywhere
awesome.
from 30 minutes to an hour. The commitments start at 8 a.m. They run until 2 p.m. And you can check that out. It's on our social media. It's on our website as well. You can sign up, read to students. You read to a whole class, Dr. Seuss books.
I did it last year.
That's adorable.
I did it last year as well.
fun.
It's so cool. And it's, I mean, especially sharing with us that if they're not on track by 3rd grade, that they're even at higher risk. And then knowing that obviously there's variables like incarceration or, you know, I work for Friends of the Family. So obviously when you have family things going on, domestic violence and things like that, like there's all these variables that we have, and kids are expected to go to school and not be distracted by all of these other things. And so it's really just amazing how much of an impact that mentoring can have. And I love that you shared with me. I had the opportunity to do lunch with a leader a couple last year.
Last school year.
Last year,
It was
the year
last school
before.
year.
Yeah, 2 years.
I think it was too.
And you shared with me that the girls, you know, just from us coming in and eating lunch and talking about what are some things that you love, what are some of your goals. I mean, we didn't do anything special. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, you mean I just get to hang out with these cool kids, do a few craft activities, like, and that's it. And then there was a rise in their actual test scores. Like,
That's incredible.
It's a motivational piece.
That's just phenomenal.
And that took what, all of an hour and a half out of your day?
I mean, I mean, maybe not even.
It was an hour,
It was
probably,
and I got to eat like pizza. And, like, we had a tea party one time.
Wow.
Like, I mean, it's such a small thing.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, there's definitely, people may think that you have to invest like a lot of time, and it's like this huge commitment. And what I really commend to Big Brothers Big Sisters and CIS and Goal, and I mean anyone that's a part of the Mentor Denton, is that they really have work to meet people where they are and provide a slew of opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think where would people go to see the full list of Mentor Denton opportunities?
I think all of us are listed on the Mentor Denton website, which is mentordenton.org.
Perfect.
I believe. Yeah.
mentordenton.org.
And then that links you to all our specific sites.
What are some of the other organizations that are involved with Mentor Denton specifically?
So in the past, we've had TWU, UNT, Born to be Free. Trying to think, there's
Goal.
some other goal. We have those mentoring programs that kind of fill in the gaps of where Big Brothers Big Sisters or community schools is not. So if anybody's looking for something after school, we usually refer them to Big Brothers Big Sisters. Depending on the location, Denton ISD has 41 campuses across 17 communities. So if they're at a specific campus, they may be referred to the communities and schools caseworker because that's their mentoring program that's going on during the day. And then we kind of fill in those gaps. So there's opportunities at every single school in Denton ISD.
It sounds like a lot to opportunities.
And CIS does have some after-school options as well. They look school-based because our after-school program runs about 3 to 6 at about, I want to say it's 8 of our campuses here in Denton. And so we do have those options. It's still school-based, and that's still how it kind of differs from Big Brothers Big Sisters. But we really have stuff from like 8 to 6. It's a little excessive.
The need is there,
a lot of
though.
options.
Exactly.
So that's a good way to get businesses and folks around town to participate. If we could just do like a real quick roundabout of like where the websites are.
Sure.
Real quick. So
Yeah, we're at CISNT.org.
CISNT.org.
NorthTexas.org.
Ours is BBBSTX.org.
BBBSTX.org.
Yes.
And DentonISD.org.
Perfect. That's easy.
But then, of course, Mentor
Try to make
Denton
it simple.
is
And Mentor
another
Denton.
Mentor Denton.
Yeah, mentordenton.org links to all of our
Awesome.
individual sites.
Perfect.
And y'all can also check out in the post on Facebook or wherever you're watching this. There's we've connected with these different agencies as well, so you can find them through social. So yeah, I mean, check it out. Consider
being a mentor.
Consider being a mentor. It is
Absolutely.
the official month of mentoring.
Yes, it is.
If you guys want more stats or more ways to get involved, go and check out all of their websites. I mean, I know that we kind of put y'all on the spot with that, but I'm pretty sure y'all's websites have some pretty phenomenal information that we can
It
all
lists
dive into.
everything.
Well, you
Alrighty.
can count me in on the reading. I have my Sneetches shirt already ready.
I have a literal
perfect.
cat and a half hat. Yeah.
That's my favorite
I'm
Dr.
ready.
Seuss book.
That's awesome. Well, I just want to say thank you to each of you for coming in and talking with us and for spending the time here with us today.
Was there anything
Do you
we
have anything
didn't
else?
cover as far as
I don't think so.
mentoring or opportunities or
I don't think so.
ways to get connected?
I would say, like Read Across America, or if you're, like Amber said, you're not sure if mentoring's for you, we all have volunteer opportunities that kind of come up once a year or just every now
True.
and then.
Yeah.
Kind of a way to get your toes in the water before you take the full plunge. So.
Yeah.
I have a real quick question. So if people were maybe a little bit timid about jumping into this pool,
Yes.
what's maybe like a good piece of advice that you find is pretty effective at getting people over that hesitance?
You don't have to be an expert
Right.
and you don't have to be like skilled in any certain subject. I think a lot of people are afraid especially because we're school based that they're supposed to be, you probably run into this too, that they're supposed to be like super good at math. Or
Former
something like that.
educator.
I've been
Not
I've been
required.
mentoring a girl for 3 years. I'm social work. I can't math or science. I use them as verbs because I don't know
Indeed.
how to do it. And I mean, all we do is talk, and it's fine. It's a great relationship that I have with her. So you don't have to be an educator. You don't have to have any experience in education. You don't have to be an expert in anything.
Right.
I just encourage people to come out and volunteer at our events before they make the commitment of becoming a big, because that is a more of a commitment. So
That's
just come
really
and
great
That's
advice.
good. It's a good little test.
And then I kind of break it
Yes.
down because people are like, I don't have the time. It's literally 6 hours of a month if you think about it. How much time do you spend on social media or doing
Oh,
other
gosh,
things,
yeah.
or just watching TV leisurely? That's time you could spend with somebody. And then, like they said, not being an expert, there's things that you do in your day-to-day life that some kids have never been exposed to. You don't even realize how, significant that skill might be to them. So
That's very true.
absolutely.
just try it out. You never know.
It's really great advice.
Just have a conversation about what are you interested in. Do you play chess? Do you really love a particular sport, or what's your hobby, like we can find a fit for you, and we can find a student that works with you, or even just a group of students. If you're like, I don't want to work one-on-one, that's too much right now, but I could help with a student organization that's the chess club or something like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And they do a great job of matching you with somebody that's going to be like-minded or have similar characteristics. Because my little sister was like me in third grade. She was super talkative, very outgoing. Like, they considered her like a troublemaker, but really she was extremely smart and she knew what she was doing. So as soon as I met her, I was like, I know who you are. I got you. Like, I already know what you're doing. So they know how to match you very well.
They do. And if the match doesn't seem right, then they'll find you another match.
They
so
will.
I think that's wonderful as well.
That is great.
Well, these ladies are obviously experts at mentoring opportunities.
Yep.
And I would say if y'all have questions, comment below. We would be happy to connect you personally with any of CIS, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Denton ISD, or Mentor Denton folks to just jump in, try it out, and see what happens.
Yeah, could be life-changing.
Come as you are.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I got really distracted because I did see a guy walk in with a dog, and I felt like I needed to probably let him know that you can't bring your dog in the bathroom because there's a sign on the bathroom that says "Don't bring your dog in there." And I was making fun of it, saying, "Is that really a problem?" And then we're sitting here, and the guy walks in, and so, hey, Miss Sir, excuse me, don't take your dog in the bathroom. So
it's interesting the kinds of things you see at the Welcome Center.
Right.
All right. So with that, there's always something going on with the chamber. Becoming a member certainly has its advantages. We talk about ribbon cuttings that are going to be coming up. And
what are we cutting?
All right. So Denton County Brewing Company.
This is such a good one.
This is pretty exciting.
Okay.
They're going to have theirs on February 1st, which is, what is that, a Thursday?
That's
I think?
a Thursday.
Starting at 4 o'clock. So we'll be cutting the ribbon around maybe like 4:15 or so. But that'll be at Denton County Brewing Company. If you haven't been there, they're located at 200 East McKinney Street. It's right across from the downtown post office building. And I think it might be on a Friday. If it's not a Thursday, it's a Friday. Whatever February 1st is.
I'm pretty sure that February 1st is a Thursday.
But it's pretty nice because it'll be at...
It's a Thursday.
At a place that serves beer in the evening. So
yeah, and if y'all haven't been over there, it is such a cool spot, and they've done a phenomenal job. And I'm sure they'll have the whole place opened up so you can check it out. I personally enjoy their Monday night trivia.
Oh, yes.
And so I'm just... I don't know if they're doing that every Monday, but it's fun. And they have the best pizza. Like, so
I've
random.
not had the pizza.
It is so random. Like, their pizza is legit. Like, no offense, but my favorite pizza in Denton. And they've got a few brews of their own. I know. Well, my pizza's, my husband's like a pizza connoisseur, so like I feel like I am a pizza expert. And it's so good.
Yeah.
So go there, get pizza. I'm sure they'll be doing something fun and special. Jen and Seth and the crew over there are pretty phenomenal. And they have a really cool beer sign in the back.
They do.
It's one of my new favorite spots.
Take a photo with it.
She sold me.
Yeah.
She sold me a pizza. Okay. I'm already there.
We're all in.
Yes. Free beer forever. I'm just kidding.
And so the next one is Code 3 ER and Urgent Care is having their ribbon cutting on February 6th. This will be at 3111 Teasley Lane, so that's kind of west of 35. That'll be Tuesday, February 6th, noon to noon 30. I was about to say 12:30. And I want to say that's a brand new like ER emergency kind of building that just popped up at the corner off Teasley. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the one. So go check that out. And then we've got chamber events. So Business Over Breakfast is coming up on February 9th. This will be at Spring Hill Suites. We're talking to a couple of guest speakers from Workforce Solutions of North Texas and the Veterans Commission. They both work very closely with each other. And this is about, trying to get people some jobs. So it's pretty good stuff.
The last few things like that have sold out are like registered out. So be sure to go and register because they will close it out and you will miss the opportunity.
Yeah,
I'm reminding myself.
We have to know how many people to expect for breakfast.
Yes.
And speaking of, that'll be February 9th starting at 7:45 in the morning.
Awesome.
And then, Randy, you've got some community events coming up.
I do. So, as you know, as a member of the Chamber, you are able to access the Chamber event list and share your events that you have coming up for your business. So, we encourage you to do that. And these are a couple of folks that have shared some events. if you need training on how to use those resources, talk to Travis. There's tons of opportunities to figure out how to use those. But it's a member perk.
And that goes for all of y'all members as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
all of y'all members as well. So first up, on January 26th, we have the well-known Your Beautiful American Cancer Society Luncheon and Style Show. Y'all, this is such a fun luncheon. They do a fashion show with folks that are in remission, or I'm pretty sure they're survivors of cancer, all kids, adults. They do a spread of bites and treats that are just so yummy, and it's just a phenomenal crew. It's a sold out event every single year. So it looks like there are still tickets available. It's going to be January 26th, 12 to 1:30, and it's the 15th annual, which is really cool. And they've raised $500,000 towards local patient services, research, and education over those 15 years. So go and be a part of that and support the Your Beautiful Style Show and Luncheon. You can check out the Chamber website for more details, and it's going to be at the Embassy Suites.
Ooh.
So if you haven't been there yet to check out the new digs, there's an opportunity to go. Should be a good one. Then we also have on February 1st, my personal favorite nonprofit in town. No offense. I love all of you guys. But Denton County Friends of the Family is hosting a kickoff for Black History Month on February 1st from 7 to 8:30. It's going to be over at GDAC. We have Dr. Yama Brown, who is an author as well as the daughter of James Brown.
I think that's so cool.
So cool. The daughter of the godfather of soul. Okay. She's coming and talking about her book, and she actually experienced domestic violence growing up and in some of her marriages. So we're going to take a look at domestic violence specifically in the African American community as a kickoff to Black History Month. So we would invite you all to join us. Again, you can check out the Chamber website or Friends of the Family website for more info. So we've got a lot happening: ribbon cuttings, luncheons, Black History Month event.
More coffee grinds.
Coffee grinds.
Alrighty. Well, that's it for the announcements. Again, I want to thank you to everybody that showed up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So before we wrap everything up, we like to ask a prepared fun question. We really do need to have some theme music.
That's the theme music.
I'm going to try to get that
Randy singing and
we're going to put that to the
clapping
committee, and they're going to work on it.
I need a hand tambourine or like one of those drums. Like you could do the drum and I could do the toot, 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 and so we could
those tiny little ones.
And so if we did that together at the same time, I feel like we could create a beat and then it would be legit, and we could just pull it out from the table.
Yeah, we could signal each other like with a little tap or something.
Oh wait, here's music.
Oh, thank you. Jake's awesome. Thank you, Jake.
Thanks, Jake. We appreciate that. We're official.
Okay, so we didn't really have like a formulated question. What were we going to ask about?
We were going to ask, okay, so tell us about your very first job.
Oh,
so everybody go through what was your first job ever.
Besides just babysitting, my first official taxes were involved job was TCBY, the country's best yogurt. Do those still happen?
There's
I haven't seen one of those
in
in a long
Dallas
time.
for sure.
Okay, super.
Raspberry yogurt with sprinkles.
Yeah, mine was the white chocolate mousse. Ooh. That was my jam. Anyways, that was my first job. I think I did that for about a year when I was 16.
Did you get free yogurt?
The free froyo?
I called them samples, but when the boss wasn't around, I got plenty of free samples.
I feel like you're admitting to stealing.
I feel like I hope none of our children are listening.
Right. Don't free samples, y'all, is a form of stealing. Amber Shattuck is condoning.
I am not condoning stealing. I apologize.
No, you weren't alone. I mean, sometimes we still do it.
My boss was like 17, and he was also doing it. So, anyways, yes. The point is, I had a job. I was doing good. Yeah, the country's best yogurt. And then after that, a year later, was Joann's Fabric.
Just now, I have realized that is what TCBY means.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm in my middle-aged adulthood right now.
Well,
did not know that's what it was
welcome. Yeah, that's what it stands for.
I wonder what those initials are for. Must be the owner's initials or something. Nope.
That would be a really long name.
Sure would.
Oh we're going to have to go do a road trip. Next week, we'll be filming at TCBY Live.
Yeah, take me to all the places that I didn't know that's what they were actually referencing or how to pronounce like Chick-fil-A for the longest time. I'm like, what is Chick-fil-A? I don't get it.
Wow.
Chick-fil-A. Got it.
Whataburger. Like, what is really the correct pronunciation of that?
What a burger.
What a burger.
Not when you grew up here.
It's Whataburger.
Yeah, it's Whataburger.
You just got to say it real quick.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you say Kroger or Kroger's?
Kroger.
Kroger. My mom always says, I'm going to Kroger's.
No, Mom, there's no S.
Kroger.
Like, are you going to all the Krogers?
Yeah,
Like,
Did you go to Kroger's?
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, my first job was at CC's Pizza.
Okay.
I was just talking about that
Was it the
yesterday.
$1.99 buffet back then?
No, it was like $4.99. Yeah,
So-
$4.99. So basically $5.
Uh-huh.
I was only getting paid $7.25, and then after a couple
You
months
got paid
of that,
one buffet.
After like 2 months there, I actually went and worked for communities and schools because they were paying $10. And it was much better
Moving on.
experience. Yeah, moved on up. So
Nice.
Back
After
in
school
my-
programs hire part-time.
Yes.
Just FYI,
Yes.
college
it was
students.
a great experience.
Back in my day, CC's was $1.99.
Yep.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. Now it's like the $5 or whatever.
Yeah,
Still a good deal.
I haven't eaten there since I worked there.
Inflation. That's like inflation.
That's inflation.
Right.
Well, my first job was being a daycare teacher. I was in charge of the 2-year-olds, so I was the potty training queen.
All right. So call Joy if anybody needs any
right.
Comes
tips.
in handy later on
Yes.
in life. Yeah.
Yes.
I loved it. That's where I started. That's pretty much all I've done. Just worked with children, but I loved the infants, and even got to experience with twins. And that's actually pretty tough trying to feed a couple of twins at the same time.
Can't
right?
imagine.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed working at the daycare, and just kind of went with it and
That's
led
awesome.
me into what I was doing.
It's like I see fear in your face, like, Lord, please don't let it be
There's
twins.
only one. There's only one.
You never know.
Maybe they just keep
true.
switching between
Right.
those visits. Oh, he moved.
Just hiding behind each other.
Right.
Oh.
Well, my first job, I bussed tables at the Buffalo Room Steakhouse in Mankato, Kansas.
Whoa.
All right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kansas.
Cleaning the tables. So
I think like everyone at some point served, like it was a server in some capacity. Like I feel like, were you?
I was not, but
The one person.
Indeed. Like,
I just
I
cleaned the
lived
tables. I didn't
vicariously.
actually waitress.
I raised goats. Like
Yeah,
that's
and
its own thing. It's a different type of service. I lived vicariously through my sister. So
Was she a server?
if you're watching, this is coming from you. But like she would talk about her experiences as a waitress or
Sure.
bussing tables or being a hostess or something, and just the smell of food on your clothes
Yes.
when you
Oh, yeah.
leave, and condiments getting under or in your fingernails. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, nope, I've learned from you.
Right.
I
Right.
appreciate everything.
You
that
never
you
look
do.
at restaurants
Goats are
the same.
somehow cleaner than
No, I'm very
this.
judgy
yeah.
of the service that I receive.
Goats
because
are
of my
cleaner than
time
that.
as a server.
Yeah.
Sometimes my husband doesn't enjoy going to eat with me because my expectations are extremely high for the service.
That's true.
You make a no, you don't. You're fine.
When we go out with friends, I hold it together more. It's when we're just by ourselves that like if something happens and I lean over to Aaron, I'm be like, "That's taking so long, Aaron." And if we're with friends, like I'm like keeping it together. You know.
You do it really well because
Yeah.
I've not taken notice
See,
of it then.
Yeah, we
You hide it well.
No,
Do you let them know up front your tip depends on your service?
no, I always tip well, even
when
if
you're
they're
nervous.
yeah, because
good.
I mean,
There's
who
a
am I
really-
to know? I think about like their life story, like
Oh, yeah.
what if,
Right.
like you never know what's happening. They've had a
Yes.
terrible day, they got a
That is
flat
so true.
tire, and then they have to
True.
come and deal with me. Like,
There's
oh my
a
gosh.
really good reference that Jay and I like to bring up from Third Rock from the Sun, if you remember that
Okay.
TV
Oh,
show.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the main guy puts, I forget his name, but he puts the stack of money on the table and he says, "This is your tip. And anytime that you do something that I don't like, $1 comes out." So throughout the episode, you know,
that one.
bills are coming out of this pile. That poor guy.
I could get on board with that.
All right. So on that note, I want to thank our guests today.
Thank
Let's
y'all
see.
so much.
Thank you.
Amber, Dominique, Joy, Courtney.
Nailed it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Wrong. She has a name tag
Yeah,
on.
like-
So
I cheated.
Cheated.
For coming in and discussing Mentor
Thank
Denton,
you.
your mentoring programs, the different facets of how all of your entities all fit together. And I also want to thank DentonRadio.com for their support in the production of Chamber Coffee Grind. For more information about the Denton Chamber of Commerce, you can check us out at denton-chamber.org. I believe you can also find all of their various entities in the comments below this video. If you want to, you can follow and friend us on social media. And remember to tune in every other Wednesday at 10 a.m. So we'll see you in 2 weeks.
all right.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. We want to remind you, don't miss your chance to get your tickets to the Denton Black Film Festival happening this weekend. Also, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at classicofdenton.com.